Today on Zero Diladon, today I'll be doing a DLP chip swap on a Christie video projector, model DWU670-E. So the reason we're doing a DLP swap on this projector is actually because me and my friend Andrew, the person who owns the projector, we were doing a show, and what happened is the power went out and wiped out all of the settings on my DMX controller. So when the power came back on, the lasers went into his projector and it damaged the DLP chip. So I'm replacing it. I've already paid for the chip and everything else like that. So let's get into it and fix what we've broken. So I'll be working at this. The first thing I'm going to be doing is pulling off the top and getting into the actual projector. And it's a fairly easy projector to get in and work on. It's a beautiful projector to get in and work on. No problems with getting to the DLP core. And no, you don't have to remove the front lens assembly or anything else. There is a back method to this. You take your little bit of time. Let's take the cover off. Let's remember how to do this all. I think the cover just comes up. Yes, sir. Alright, and we're going to have to go around and take out all these screws around the edge. So there's a whole bunch of screws and stuff around the areas of which we'll have to work. So screws, 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 screws. I'm going to undo all that and pop the cover off and get back to that once everything is exposed. Alright, I have the projector lid off now. See a couple of screws on the top, the ones around the outside case, and then two silver ones that sat on this metal plate here. I'll show you where they went on the projector, located here and here. So you're going to want to get those out as well, and then disconnect the cable here, route the cable there. Okay, with that off, now we can get inside of the projector a little bit more, which involves now removing all of the screws on the outside holding this metal bracket on into place. So let's get to that. Oh, do I have to undo all those? No, I don't. I didn't think I did. Alright. Coming up. There you go. And once you remove that plate, now we actually get into the inside of the projector assembly. And we can start doctoring all the parts. So the part we need to get into is actually buried right in the inside interior of there. So essentially all of this needs to come out. This needs to come out, 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 and the heatsink that cools the DLP chip also needs to be removed. So there's a couple of things going on here. Firstly, let's remove the lamps. So there's one of the lamps. And we'll be removing both of those. So there's one. And here's one. Carefully put those aside, and now we have to start in with the more sensitive areas. So I'm going to reposition the tripod and get into those more delicate bits with a better view. Okay, so the first part I'm going to remove is this blower fan right here, and it cools down this little lens assembly. This lens actually, what it does is the two lights come into here. There's a little set of mirrors right here that are at an angle like this, and one light comes in, bounces in, the other light comes in, bounces in, and they go through this little lens under here. I'll show you that in a couple of seconds. Actually, I don't have to remove that piece, do I? We'll leave that piece where it is. So we're going to remove that in there. And you want to keep all your screws definitely in places where you know that they are and organized while doing this with the associated parts. Always helpful. Pull out that one. And that one. And removing that fan from its controller, which is the center one. I'll show you what I mean by that. So, right here, that's that center one. Yeah, that center one. So, remove, just like that. And we're going to pull the fan off. Oh, this is the one that's buried underneath there, isn't it? Yes it is. Okay. We're going to put these screws right there. We need to remove that fan. And in there. So here's another little blower fan for cooling the other optics down. We don't need to remove that one as much. We can just put that one off to the side and put the holding harness in with the screws. Just like that. And now we can remove that fan. Just like this. And we'll put this one with its associated parts. Okay, now the next step is to get into this section here, remove this fan. Yeah, this is one of the blower fans for the lamp optics. And that comes off in two pieces just like that. And we'll go ahead and disconnect this fan. That fan is connected. I'll show you. That fan is connected up in this area, just being the last one over here. So unplug that. And remove. Next bit. Okay, from here, now we're going to be removing the color wheel, and we're going to be leaving the color wheel. We're going to be removing the brightness. So that's the brightness we will be removing. I knew we removed one of those. So here's kind of the brightness / shutter wheel. I believe it's only held on by a single screw. Oh no, there's another one here at the bottom too. I see ya. In there. I'm gonna block the camera with my head for a little bit. And out with that screw. And into the tin. And very carefully pull that optic out, noting where it goes to. Oh yes, we do have to remove the color wheel. That's the only way to get the other one out. Okay, we're going to disconnect that. And remove the color wheel. Okay, so here is the projector color wheel. Put that aside. Now we can remove this without problems. This will be connected in two areas. First one right here for the motor, and then you got another one right here for the magnetic Hall effect sensor. So we're going to disconnect the Hall effect sensor. Put that there carefully. I'll show you where that connects to. So that Hall effect sensor connects up to that area right here. I'm going to go and unplug it. Like that. And out it comes. So this is the wheel that is responsible for the brightness of the projector. Put that aside. We're getting to it now. Okay, so the next area to get into is this area right here, and we'll be removing this assembly to get into the DLP side. So let's start with that. And that'll be a couple of screws. And out this metal bracket comes. Just like that. So, put that aside. Now, here comes the tricky bits. Okay, I'm now preparing to extract the DLP core, which involves removing a few things. And those things get a little complicated to remove. So the first thing we're going to be removing is this metal bracket underneath, which is just a little thing to hold the DLP chip. Heatsink where it needs to be. So squeeze it down there. Come on. I got it. Woo. One screw. Two screws. Those screws are difficult to put back in, especially this side one right here. We're going to remove that holding bracket very carefully, which is this guy right here. Now, this is where things get tricky. This heatsink is held on by a couple of screws. Two of those screws are clearly seen on this side. There are two more screws underneath. I'm going to be using one of these to kind of get in underneath the heatsink with my fingers, and a tool to undo all of those spring-loaded screws that hold the heatsink on the back of the DLP. Actually, not DLP, but the digital mirror device. Putting these screws back in is a far harder task, I'll tell you that right now. Have I got it? I don't think so. And I don't have it. There it is. Alright, so now holding that in, and we're going to take that screw out. And you're going to want to be fairly careful because this is where things start to kind of fall apart as well. There are a couple of layers inside that will come out with the heatsink arrangement because the DLP chip is right behind there. So let's pull that spring out. And let's get that screw out. And we'll continue. The other screw is somewhere in there still. We'll flip the projector over, get all the remaining screws, hopefully one, out of the projector. Screws don't like to come out of the projector. It's a rat's maze in there. Okay, that one's going to need more than a finger. So take this, and we're going to break that. Okay. Oh, come on. I told you this was the tricky part. Come on, fingers. Oh, it's turning, just not very fast. Oh, let's get to these top screws and see if that'll help. Alright, don't want to undo that one completely. So we're going to come back to the bottom one again. See what we can do. Oh, that screws good in there. Out of the bar. Come on. I think we've got it. And now the last one. Remove that. See, I've been here before. And that's the last screw. Alright, now this heatsink, I believe, freely moves from this point. Yes, it does. And there's the back cooling pad that I put in before. So now, we've got to free up that heatsink, get that heatsink out of there. So, I'll begin doing these connections up here. Let's mark those out before we do. And that will give us access to removing the heatsink. I'll pick those. Just like that. Now there are a couple more screws here that need to be undone move the tripod camera thing back to it there. Okay, almost into the beast. So there are a couple more screws that actually need to be undone. So take that back with the DMD coming out with that heatsink. It won't, but there will be a couple of other things that will come out with this. Okay, last screw on the DMD mounting plate. So there's that. And that's the little foil tab that grounds this. So here's the DMD board, and it's just pressed mounted to this board here. So there's nothing really holding it together. So you're going to be very careful with this part. And this card will end up pulling vertically up. Just like that. And now you can see what I mean by it kind of being held together by press. So I'm going to hold the DMD in there, and I'm going to pull the card out just like that. So there's all the little tabs at which the DMD is seated to. Here's the little socket pin doodad, and there's a little spacer in there. And you can see some of the marks on there where the laser damaged this DMD. I'll move that and I'll show you this. What I mean, see if you can see it on here. Laser damage. Yeah, you'll see there's a little area that has a little bit of damage. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's right around here. I'll show you underneath the microscope at the end of the video. So I'm going to take this DMD out, and I'm going to compare it with the DMD that we got. And they look to be identical. So let's get ready to put this DMD in. The little DMD comes with a little cooling pad as well. That'll be nice. You know, put that on the back of that DMD. Let's open this up. Now we want to be very careful with this next set of steps. Not to touch the DMD at all. I'm going to slide the DMD onto, oh, there goes that cooling pad, onto the tray, and seat it down into place. Just like that. You know, it shouldn't be this difficult. Okay, yeah, let's put it in the right way now. Line up those pins again. Hey, that's easier. Okay. Let's put this board on. Numbers being upside down totally got me. Okay. And now we lock that new DLP chip into place. Just like that. Going kitty corner, like a CPU. The other one. And lock those down then all nice and solidly. Looks like the connections depend on it. Okay, before we get into mounting the heatsink assembly back on, I'm going to recommend that you make yourself a little catch tray like this, because it's going to become very handy. The chances are you're going to end up dropping those screws, and you don't want to go searching for them. Learn this the last time. So I'm going to put this little catch tray right down in here while mounting the heatsink back on, so that way if I drop any of the screws, they'll go in there. And I don't have to go get them again. Every time I have to go get them, it involves flipping the projector upside down and shaking them out, and I'm not going to do that this time, as I've learned from my mistakes in the past. So now I get these little heat pad, and I'm going to put the heat pad on the back of the DMD very carefully. And I am actually, you know what, I'm going to put the heat pad on this. I think that's going to work better. Okay, and pull off the little sticky tape that's on there, just like that, and tempt fate. So I gotta work the heatsink assembly back into the projector where it was before, and get ready to mount it into position. I'll be starting with the upper screws and just putting them on ever so slightly, and then doing the cutie corner process to tighten those down. So, on like that. Yep. Okay, so I can feel that everything is joining up where it needs to be. Excellent. Get the screwdriver bit out and go at it. One. I'm going to go and try to get one of the bottom ones in. Wish me luck. You have luck. Yes. Let's make sure I'm not threading into the board. Nope, looks good. I'll go with it. Double check. Perfect. Oh, that went well. Much better than last time. Maybe I won't even need the screw catcher this time. Excellent. I'll move these wires over. Oop. That wasn't it. Okay. Well, that went flawlessly so far. Like, how could I screw up the last one, right? It's still right there and obviously where we needed to be. And really gotta tighten all those down. Oh yeah, that one's good and tight. What about this one? It needs to be done quite a bit. Ooh, finger cramp. Walk it off. Okay, and now to put in the bracket that I hate putting back in, which is the bracket that goes underneath the heatsink. So the trick to putting this bracket in is actually to put the screw in first. Okay, we're going to put that piece in now, and we're going to line it up with that hole and the other hole over here on the other side. So we're going to start with that side. We're going to make sure that the pin is in correct orientation, as I said. I'm going to lower that in with the screw in there, just like this. And we're going to hold it into position with that screwdriver as we lower it down. So, it's not going well at all. I'm doing quite well, aren't I? We got our screwdriver, which for compensating the problem of depth, and hopefully we can get and place that screw in where we need it to be. Okay, I'd like to mention now publicly, whichever Christie designer who designed this piece that goes underneath that heatsink, with the screw spacing that doesn't line up with that bracket, so the screw needs to go in a little sideways. I would like them to do this task. Hardest screw. Hardest screw. You know what? I might just leave that screw out. We'll go at it one more time. That one goes in nice and easy. Look at that. Do you see how fast that screw was to put in? It was beautiful. It went in real quick. It was a pleasure to put in. A wonderful screw to put in. Didn't do anything wrong to me. Didn't hurt me or offend me in any way. It was a wonderful treat to service. Then there's this screw. This screw is a pain in the ass. This screw doesn't know what it wants to do, what angle it wants to go in. It doesn't know anything about what its job is. Doesn't know. It's terrible. Have I done it? Have I done it? Quite possibly? Quite possibly? Yes? Yes? Or am I just... I have. Yeah. My level of professionalism. Alright, with the heatsink and the DLP chip mounted back in, we can pretty much reverse the process of which we took it apart in. And let's do that. So we're going to put this piece into position where it was before and screw it into place. So just like that. And 2 screws. One. 2. Alright, and now for the brightness wheel, which goes in like this. And screw that down into position. And that screw. Now for the color wheel, which goes in to this section here, other way. Let's see, line up the screws. Never force projector parts into place. They're glass. We can hook that up, and its sensor wire will be looped back underneath this assembly. Of course, we all know what part is obstructing it. That stupid mount. That stupid grounding mount. You know, I'm just gonna run it over the top. It'll be done that way. Maybe it was routed through the top, and I'm just being a goofball. I have it in my mind that I want it routed under there, though. Alright, well, seems a heck of a lot easier. Let's hope that's right. Okay, next step is the blowers. Okay. So first we have to put in the oddball-y shaped one, right? Which is that guy. And that I'm gonna plug the color wheel back into. Alright. So this guy sits back into here. And we're gonna put it in as such. And we're just gonna lay that into its rough position for the time being, because there's that other fan that lays on top of it. So we're gonna take that fan and then put it in where that needs to go. And that fan is not that guy. Okay, it's in the projector. That's right. And that fan gets positioned like this. Is this where this bracket goes? Yes, it is. Okay. Very good. Let's get those fans put in. Okay. That goes there. And there's 3 bigger screws to go in. So let's put those in. First one going right here. And that one goes here. I'm thinking not. Oh, that one's go here. Okay, so a small screw goes in that hole. Let's do that then. Okay. So now we got pretty much everything locked into place. 2 more screws for the top piece, and we're also going to set this one into place. So this fan gets mounted like so. Nope, nope. That's upside down. It gets mounted like so. 9 out of 10 critics agree. Yeah, let's go back to that one. And that screw will also end up holding that section in. So, we've got a bigger screw, just as such. I do believe. Nope, short screws. Okay, that's for one of the top mounts. That's one of the top mounts. Yeah, that had to be a big screw then. Okay. Let's put in a big screw. 2 small screws. Mystery of the straw or small, yeah, mystery of the small screw, eh? Yeah, okay. Don't know where that screw went. Strange. But yeah, looks just about done, doesn't it? Put some lamps in. And fan 1, fan 2. We'll plug this fan back in. you know, I'm gonna go ahead and look around for that one screw real quick. Considering that that's literally the only thing I need to put back in, and apparently it wasn't in there to begin with. Well, we have ways of fixing that. They'll never know. Look, at this point, so we can pretty much slide everything back into where it needs to be. Let's see, fan reserved. Excellent. So we'll throw the case back on and see how it works. So, of course, correction, missed a little piece. A little metal bracket. Without that metal bracket, surely it wouldn't work properly. It's a component vital. Okay, go. Now let's put this on. I'm just going to lay it on the projector just the way it came. I'm not going to screw it down. I'll put the lid back on. So that way we have all the buttons to access. And we can give this out for a little test drive. What do you think? I think so. A little connector. To fetch it. Little back cable. Where did you go? There you go. I had to go find this. We're good though. Connector on. And we really just need that down enough to trip the fan sensor, right? I think so. See what that devil happens. Control 9.2 amps. Pushing that breaker. That's for darn sure. See what happens. Like locate power now. Yes, I would. On. There's a switch. I know there's a switch. Big switch. Where's the big switch? Here's switch. And the cable is plugged in.
I'm missing something here. Ah, okay. Had to press it down enough. Let's see if we get a blue screen. That's making the noises and blinking away. But will we get a blue screen today? Status green. Shutter good. Lamp 1, lamp 2. Green. Flashing. Warming up. Excellent. What will we get to display? We get to find out together. Look at this. Oh, I saw something. What is that? Is that an image? It's an image. It's out of focus. But it's an image. Just as we wanted. Looks good. Looks very good. Cool. Mission complete. Okay, it's time to give her a test. Button of power. Looks good. Let's turn off the light. See what we get here. Let's see if we get a Christie boot image. I see flashing lights on the top. That's a good sign. Warming up the lamps. I see a little bit of life. I see a lot more life. Alright, well, looks like we have the menu right there in the corner. I don't see any really funny dots. It looks good. Well, that's how you do it. That's how you replace a DMD and a Christie projector. Stay tuned for more. Okay, so here underneath the microscope I have the digital mirror device, or the DMD chip that actually creates the image. I'll do a little bit of a zoom in. So this is a 700 milliwatt laser that did this, not even a 1 watt laser. And it was DMX protocol that failed, so now I use only ILDA protocol. It's much safer for things like people, cameras, obviously projectors. So if you're getting into lasers, I do recommend doing the ILDA route and altogether skipping DMX. Take a look at that on higher focus. And you can see all the mirrors that were damaged by that beam. And the reason why it was so damaging to the projector and other things with lenses is just like a magnifying glass. When the laser light comes in, it gets focused down like the sunlight does. And that focal point is much hotter than the actual unconcentrated beam. In fact, hot enough to destroy these little mirrors on the surface of the digital mirror device. So yeah, guess that's about all. Thanks for watching.